Hi everyone, it's Christine Josty from Mail Something Pretty, and today I wanted to make you this really nice ombre looking Kelly Lily card, and it is made from the Lasting Lily stamp set that is actually a free stamp set in the Celebration catalog, and this catalog goes from January 3rd to March 31st of 2019, and it's full of lots of free stamp sets and ribbons and papers and so forth. But the stamp set that we're using today is on the last page. Here it is, called Lasting Lily, and it is free with a $100 purchase. So if you purchase any supplies that add up to $100, you can get this stamp set for free. And it's a really nice one. It's actually perfect for sympathy. Lilies are a beautiful flower, and they have some nice sentiments in here for that. But really, you can make birthday Kelly Lily cards and thank you cards, and it doesn't always have to be for sympathy, but sometimes you need a go-to set, and I really think this is a great one. So we're just going to make this card today, and you'll see it's actually really quick and really simple to put together, and it just kind of builds on each other. So I'm actually going to use my Stamparatus today, and you can certainly do this with your acrylic blocks, but I just wanted to show you how quick it comes together. And there you go. A quick tutorial on a Stamparatus is, it's like a stamp positioning tool. It comes with two of these clear plates, and they just lock in or hook in right here. And it comes with, you get two magnets, which you don't want to touch. It comes, here's your base, and it comes with a foam pad. Use a foam pad if you're using photopolymer stamps, which this stamp set is. If you have the regular red rubber, then you just put that aside and you'll just use that as a base. And then you have the optional grid paper, which I'm going to use. I'm going to show you how I used it on this card. Not necessary, but a handy thing. It also keeps your pad or your base kind of clean, and it helps you line up with some of the stamps because of all the straight edges. So that is a quick overview of the Stamparatus. Stamparatus also is $49, so that gets you halfway there to this free set. And really, the Stamparatus kind of takes place, replaces your blocks. So it's a good thing to have. Okay, so I actually did this card for my open house a couple weeks ago, and so it's kind of already set up that way. But normally you would, you place your paper down, and you would take your stamps that you can see how well used I used them. I made some nice, really red Kelly Lilies. And you would normally, let me just put a magnet down so this doesn't move. You would say, okay, I want this to be here, and then you would stick that there, and you'd say, okay, I want this one to be here, and you could stick that one there or the other one, and then you do the same with your stems. You would stamp those and say, here's pretending, but you would line that up and say, okay, so that's kind of a real quick overview of the Stamparatus. But what I did for my class, or my open house rather, is I gave instructions right here on my grid paper. So I told everyone to place their paper along this edge, and even where to put the magnets. Put a magnet here and a here. And then I said, Old Olive ink we're going to use for the flowers, and Pear Pizzazz we're going to use for the stems. But this what makes it handy. So I did this a couple weeks ago, but I want to make more, so I saved my paper. So I already kind of did the placement of where I want everything. So I'm just going to line up right here. The stems right on my paper, because I already know they line up. And I don't know if you can see, I even labeled on my, just with washi tape on my plate, so they knew which color to stamp with. So now I'm going to stick those there. I'm going to do the same thing with the flowers. And they should line up exactly where I want them. So let's find out. I have two pieces of paper just in case. All right, so I'm gonna put my magnets there, and we'll do the flowers first. So I have Old Olive. I'm just gonna stamp. Actually, I'm gonna show you a little trick. hopefully you can see this on camera. I'm going to move this over a little bit. So the plates kind of go down on a little angle, right? So this would be level. What I think works perfectly, if you put a stamp set case or just even get an old one, you put it underneath, it makes this perfectly level so it's easy to ink up your stamps. I just think it's a nice height. Oh, I need to put my paper down. Here we go. These magnets are super strong. Okay. Now, I'm just going to ink, quick ink again, just in case. All right, so then we push it down. Let me check it out. Oh, that came out nice. This stamp set has what they call their distinctive stamping. I don't know if it's written on here or not. I don't think so. But do you see how much detail you get? Like it's light and it's not like an even stamp, but it's done that way. It's created that way and it's beautiful. They Stampin' Up! Is actually getting a patent because they designed this type of, I don't know, texture, I guess. All right, so here's my Pear Pizzazz, which is just a little lighter than Old Olive. And look, this is why we always check. Do you see it's actually not, it's not lined up there. So I'm going to move my paper over a little bit. And there we go. Okay. So something must have moved when I put it on there. Okay, so there we go. So really a stamp. If I used individual blocks, I would have done, you know, one flower, a stem, which is fine. But I just wanted to show you the coolness of the Stamparatus. And when you close it, you can close one down, but the other one just kind of hinges, so just don't force it because it will break, or you can just take it off and lay it flat that way. Okay, so here we go. We have our base here. I'll put this back on a block. I'm going to actually, I don't have my little stamp mat handy, so I'm just going to use this as a stamp mat, right? Because the foam, I just don't want those near each other. The foam acts as a block, so you can even use that as your mat. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. Okay, so here's the card. I want to do this little tag label. And you can use scissors to make that little notch if you want. If you do that, I would recommend cutting a little slit in the middle first and then cutting from corner to corner. It seems to center better. Or I have, this is a great punch. I think it's called a triple banner punch. It has 3 different notches, so an inch wide, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. So this happens to be 1.5 inches wide. Actually, I'll write down, but it's 3 1/4 by 1.5. And if you put it in, you slide it. Just make sure it's level. Slide it all the way in, and it makes a little notch, which is nice. If you wanted to do like 1 1/4 inches, you would just line up your papers in between the notches kind of evenly, and that works fine. So you're really not limited to 3 widths, but you can't go any beyond 2 inches because it's that wide. Okay. So I'm going to put, this says for the memories you can't put into words. I also like to put my words on a diagonal. I find that I can line the words better on my paper than if it was kind of square. There we go. All right, and we'll do the inside too in a second. So this is a standard base, so it's 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 by, how big a size piece of paper? 8.5 by 11. I don't know why I'm losing my mind. So I cut in half. So, and I score it, so it becomes a regular, 5.5 by 4 1/4 card. I think they call those an A2 size. Put that over here. Okay, so here are my pieces, and I'm also going to use, this is in the new Spring Occasions catalog. It's beautiful. It's Old Olive twine, and I love, not twine, Old Olive linen thread. So the regular linen thread, it's like that, and so that's the Old Olive, and it's really, really nice. And so what I'm going to do is just wrap this around my card, or this piece, twice first. tie a bow. And then we'll put that onto the card base. Okay. There we go. And I'll trim that up a little bit better when I get it on there. I'm going to use dimensionals just to raise it up. Just because it's an ombre card, I just thought it just gave it a little bit of interest instead of if it was flat. But you certainly could make it flat if you don't have any dimensionals. I'll put that on there and we're almost done. This is really quite a quick card. And then I put dimensionals on this one. I'm going to put one on the top and one on the bottom because that way it will straddle the twine, and it won't, you know, if you put it on, sometimes it lands on the twine, it's uneven. There we go. Fix my bow. Actually, it's a little big, I think. There we go. I'm gonna be a little bit of a perfectionist here. That's better. Okay, and on the inside, I have, here it goes. It says, "Our thoughts are with you." So just a little something, again, on that ombre. So I just did it with the old olive. Oh, I didn't grab my pad, but that's all right, it's a little one. So there you go. So there is a nice, beautiful card. Certainly you could do happy birthday or thank you or whatever, but I think it's a really nice thinking of you or sympathy card. And you can see how easy it was to put together. So I used the Lasting Lily stamp set, which again is a free item in the Celebration catalog. I will put a link if you want to go shopping right underneath this posting. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love answering questions or comments. This is Christine Josti at Mail Something Pretty. Thanks so much. Bye.